Okay, so shins on the floor, bums on the heels. Tilt in the pelvis, lengthen the spine, hands on the knees. So we're going to settle into the breathing first of all, but once we've settled into the breathing, we're going to be moving our spines with the breath. So as we inhale, we tilt the pelvis forwards, opening the chest, breathing in nice and deeply. As we exhale, chin to the chest, rolling the spine backwards, squeezing yourself as small as you can. So inhaling, opening, coming forwards, as deep a belly breath as possible. Exhaling, chin to the chest, curling it in, squeezing all the breath out of the body. But before we do that, just sitting comfortably, long in the spine, lifting your heart, relaxing the shoulders, closing your eyes. Normal breaths, easy breathing. Breathing as you've been breathing all day. Noticing your breath, starting to be aware of how your breath feels. No thoughts need thinking about, and there is nowhere else to be. Dropping from your heads into your hearts. Shift your awareness from your thoughts into your feelings. Be present in how you feel right now. Maybe you don't feel how you want to feel. Maybe you do. Whatever you find, don't think about it. Don't try to change it, don't wish it was otherwise. Accept whatever you find. Tension, tiredness, tightness. Starting to quieten your minds. And breathing deeper. Deep belly breaths. Breathing in through the nose, filling the belly, filling the lungs. Exhaling, start moving the abdominals, squeezing the belly button into the spine, pushing all the breath out of the lungs. Every inhale deeper than the last, finding your maximum lung capacity, and then trying to breathe in a bit deeper. With the exhale, completely emptying your lungs, squeezing all the breath out of the body, ready for a deeper, fresher breath. Noisy breathing, hearing every exhale. If you're listening to your breathing, then you cannot be listening to any thoughts. And so with hands on the knees, as we inhale, now moving the spine, pulling the spine forwards, opening the chest. As we exhale, rolling the spine backwards, chin to the chest, squeezing all the breath out of the body. Inhaling forwards, exhaling backwards. Keep it going. Moving in time to your own breath. So the deeper the breath, the slower the movement. The slower the movement, the more time to feel into your spine, feeling into your body. At the peak of your inhale, see if you can make yourselves even bigger. At the depth of your exhale, see if you can push a little deeper. Keep it going. You have the option to maintain this pace, breathing as you are. Otherwise, if you want to generate some heat, some warmth in the body, starting to move faster, breathing quicker. Eventually, if you're picking up the pace, finding your maximum speed. Again, the idea is to generate heat and warmth in the body. But up to you, how fast you go. Few more rounds, few more breaths. And then everyone, deep breath in. Hold the breath. Squeeze the belly button into the spine. Push your trapped breath into a smaller space. Hold the inhale. Hold the breath for as long as you can. Belly locked in. Belly button as close to your spine as you can bring it. Hold the inhale. When you have the urge to breathe, wrestle with it. Try and hold your breath a little bit longer. When you can't hold the breath any longer, exhaling out through the nose, settling into your deep yogi breathing. Deep diaphragmatic breathing, deep yogi breaths. Breathing through the nose. Every breath through the nose, in and out of the belly. Every inhale, deep and last. Every exhale, totally complete. So around your back and your breathing, calming onto all fours. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Spread the fingers nice and wide. So really ground down through the hands and bring your left knee in line with the hip. So the knee is in line with the hip, the heel is in line with the knee, the toes pointing off to the left side of the room, no bend in the elbows, holding the leg here. If the left knee starts to drop, pick it up. Pressing down through the hands, balancing on the right knee. 2 more breaths. And gently placing your left knee back on your mats. Same with the right leg. Lift the knee in line with the hip, the heel in line with the knee, toes pointing off to the right side of the room, holding here, grounding down through the hands. Breathing deep, breathing strong. 2 more breaths. And gently placing your right knee back on your mats. Reaching the left hand forwards, the right leg behind as we inhale, finding length. As we exhale, either the left elbow comes to the right knee, otherwise elbows to the belly button, the knee comes to the forehead. Inhaling, finding length, opening up. Exhaling, squeezing it in. Inhaling, opening up. So move slow, move with control, moving with the whole of every breath. If you wobble, if you lose balance, move slower. Get the core engaged. Whole of the body working together. Three more breaths. And then coming back to all fours. Same on the other side, right hand reaching forwards, left leg behind, inhaling for length, exhaling, squeezing in. So again, either the elbow to the knee, otherwise elbows to the belly button, knee to the forehead, or maybe somewhere in between. Just going as far as you can, move your body with the breath. Again, if you wobble, slow it down. Get everything engaged, everything strong, everything smooth. Three more breaths. And coming back to all fours. Tuck the toes, push yourselves backwards so the bum comes to the heels, the knees come off your mats, and then bringing the forehead as close to the floor as your knees are.
So balancing on the balls of the feet, push through the hands, lengthening through the arms, pushing the bums further onto the heels, knees close to the floor, forehead as close as your knees to your mats. Breathing here. Two more breaths. And then keeping your forehead this close to your mats, straighten the legs, coming to your downward facing dog. So pressing down through the heels, hips nice and high. And then when you're here, walking the feet slowly, walking the feet to come between the hands, coming to a forward fold at the top of your mats. So big toes touching, small gap between the heels, grabbing a hold of your elbows, and for a few breaths, hanging out of your hips. Tiny bend in your knees. Soften the spine, allow your head to hang. Breathing space between every vertebrae. Releasing the elbows, slowly stacking each vertebrae one on top of the other, coming all the way up standing, coming to Tadasana, mountain pose. So big toes touching, small gap between the heels, straightening through the legs, lengthening through the spine, rolling shoulder blades back towards each other, palms facing the front. Deep belly breath in, Surya Namaskara, sun salutation. As we exhale, bringing the hands together. Inhaling, reaching through the side bodies, reaching through the fingers. Exhaling, swan dive to forward fold, hands on the floor. Inhaling, the right foot steps back onto runner's lunge. Holding the breath, kicking back to plank. Exhaling, knees to the floor, chest between the hands, chins on the mat, bums in the air. Inhaling, sliding up to cobra, pushing hips down, lifting shoulders. As we exhale, tucking toes and lifting hips, downward facing dog. Looking between the hands as we inhale, stepping the right foot between the hands. Exhaling, left foot between the hands. Inhaling, pressing down through the heels, reaching through the fingers up for the ceiling. Exhaling, returning to Tadasana, mountain pose. Breathing in. Exhaling, the hands come together. Inhaling, long through the side bodies, reaching through the fingers. Exhaling, swan dive to forward fold, hands on the floor. Inhaling, the left foot steps back, comes to runner's lunge. Holding the breath, kicking back to plank. Exhaling, knees to the floor, chest between the hands, chins on the mat, bums in the air. Inhaling, sliding up to cobra, pushing hips down, lifting shoulders. As we exhale, tucking toes and lifting hips, downward facing dog. Looking between the hands as we inhale, stepping the left foot between the hands. Exhaling, right foot between the hands. Inhaling, reaching up the ceilings, deep belly breath. Exhaling, returning to Tadasana, mountain pose. Last round, a little bit different. Breathing in. Exhaling, the hands come together. Inhaling last time, reach up to the ceiling. As we exhale, bend the knees, fingertips touch the mats, keep the bums low, lift the hands high, imaginary chair pose. So your weight is concentrated in the heels, pressing the toes back down. If you look down, you should be able to see all 10 toes. If you can't, take the knees further back, drop the bums lower, lift the hands higher, shoulder blades drawing in towards each other, reaching up the ceiling, looking up between the hands, long through the spine. 2 more breaths. And as we exhale, folding forwards, hands on the mats, stepping or jumping back to plank. Half press up, chaturanga. Coming down low to your mats, elbows close into the body, holding for a breath. As we inhale, upward facing dog. So pressing down the tops of the feet, trying to lift the knees, lift the hips, pull the chest through the arms, pressing down through the palms. Shoulder blades drawing in as close as you can bring them, lengthening through the crown of your head. So if your knees and your hips aren't lifting, pressing down harder on the tops of your feet. Pull the chest through the arms, breathing into the back bend. The inside creases of your elbows facing forwards, shoulder blades drawing in. 2 more breaths.
And then tucking the toes, lifting the hips, downward facing dog. Holding here for a few breaths. So fingers wide, pressing down through the length of all of your fingers, pushing away through the palms, long through the side bodies, hips high up in the air. Feet hip distance apart as you press down through the heels. And then when you're here, cycling the legs. So bending the right knee, pressing down through the left heel, holding for 2 breaths, and stopping the legs, 2 breaths for each leg. And then coming back to center. Planting down through the left hand, reach through the right hand, grab a hold of the left ankle. So keep pressing down through the heels, strong on the left arm, pulling yourself underneath the left armpit, looking off to the left side of the room. So the left arm is holding the body weight, the right hand is pulling on the heel, twisting you on the spine, looking off to the left side of the room. Strong breaths. And then coming back to center, going the other way. Planting down through the right hand, left hand grabs the right heel. Use the strength of your arms, pushing away from the right shoulder, hips high up in the air, press down through the heels. Use the strength of the left arm, pulling you underneath the right armpit. Strong breaths. And then bringing both hands back into your mats. Bring the left foot more central to your mat, press down through the heel, lift the right leg up in the air. Bend the right knee, the right heel comes close to the bum. As we exhale, bring the right knee through the arms, shoulders above the wrists. Inhaling, take the right leg back up. Exhaling, coming through. Inhaling, back up. Keep it going. So when we come through the arms, try and come far as you can over the wrists. Bringing the right knee as far towards the front of the room as you can. And also keep the right leg close and tight into the body as you move. Next time you come forwards, touch the right knee to the right elbow. Slide it down to the right wrist, back up to the elbow. Inhaling, take the right leg back up. Right knee to the left elbow, down to the wrist, up to the elbow. Inhaling, take the right leg back up, and then right foot back on your mats. Moment to rest, moment to freestyle, otherwise vinyasa. Inhaling to plank, exhaling to press up, inhaling, upward facing dog, exhaling, downward facing dog. Right foot central in your mats, pressing down through the heel, lifting the left leg nice and high, bending the left knee. Same again. Exhaling, bringing the left knee through the arms, inhaling, taking the left leg up, exhaling, keep it swinging. So again, keep that left thigh tight into the body. Bring the left knee as far through your arms as you can, out to the front of the room. The next time you bring the left knee forwards, left knee to the elbow, down to the wrist, up to the elbow, inhaling, left leg up, left knee to the right elbow, down to the wrist, up to the elbow, inhaling, left leg back up, left toes back on the floor. Option to rest, option to freestyle, otherwise vinyasa. Plank, press up dog, coming back to down dog. Back in your downward facing dog. Drop your knees to your mats, arms on the heels. So if your wrists are a little bit sore, clasp your fingers and just wrestle your hands in every possible way. If you can do both at the same time, bring the hands to the floor, lift your knees, stretching the tops of your feet, stretching your shins. And then when you're here, you can do the hands again. If you're struggling to keep the balance, just bring the knees back down, give your wrists the work, unless the wrists are fine, in which case, focus on the feet. If you're here with the knees high, long through the spine, open the chest. And then gently coming back down onto your knees. Hands on the mat, tucking the toes, lifting the hips, downward facing dog. So when you're here, lifting the right leg nice and high, bending the right knee, step the right foot on the outside of the right hand. Have the right foot grounded down, pressing back through the left heel, left palm planted, strong from the shoulder. Right hand to the heart, twist on the spine, looking up towards the ceiling, over the shoulder, and then releasing the hand, opening through the arms, opening through the chest. So make sure the right leg is strong, you're pressing down through the heel, pulling the knee back underneath you. The left heel, you're pushing back through the whole of the leg, both legs are strong. You can open the chest some more if you like, but keep pulling the right knee back underneath you. If you want to go further, place the right fingers on the left hip and then pull the shoulder blade backwards to look up towards the ceiling as you breathe deep into the twist. So make sure the left arm is strong, again pushing away from the shoulder, planting down through the whole of your hand. Inhaling, the right hand reaches up to the ceiling, exhaling, right hand back in your mats. So we're going to go for the lizard bind. This is quite strong. If you need, just bring your left knee down to your mats. But otherwise, dropping your shoulders as low as you can. The right arm comes under the right thigh, the hand rests on the lower back. Pressing down through the right heel, maybe you just continue working here. Otherwise, bring the left hand up and over behind the back as well. Holding the hands, squeezing the arms, squeezing on the bind. Both legs strong. Press down through the right heel, back through the left heel, long through the spine. Just looking at your mats on the inside of the right foot. Strong belly breaths. 2 more breaths. And gently, with control, releasing the hands, placing them on your mats, kicking the right foot back, downward facing dog. Lifting the left leg nice and high, bending the left knee, bring the left foot on the outside of your left hand, and then planting down through the right hand, strong from the right shoulder, bring the left hand to the heart, twist on the spine, take the heart up towards the ceiling. So we do this to make sure you're twisting on the spine, not just moving from the left shoulder. So strong from the right arm, pressing down, lifting up towards the ceiling, release the left hand, looking to the fingers, opening through the chest, pressing down through the left heel, pushing back through the right heel. Maybe opening further, take the left hand more to the right side of the room, but keep the left knee pulling back underneath you. And again, if you have the space, wrapping the left arm behind the back, fingers on the right hip, draw the shoulder blade to the right side of the room. Remember the legs, pressing back through the right heel, down through the left heel. Strong belly breathing. Here, every exhale. 1 more breath. And then inhaling, the left hand reaches up to the ceiling. Exhaling, left hand back on your mats. So again, lizard bind. If you need, dropping the right knee to the floor. Otherwise, dropping your shoulders nice and low. Left arm under the thigh, the hand on the lower back. Right hand up and over the top,
holding the hands, creating the bind, squeezing the arms, lengthening through the spine, reach to the crown of your head, pressing down through the left heel, pushing back through the right heel. Deep breaths. Breathing under control. 2 more breaths. And then gently, slowly, with control, releasing the hands. Hands back on the mat, kicking the left leg back, downward facing dog. Hop, step or jump to Malasana, your deep yogi squats. So both feet outside the hands. If you come to Malasana and your heels are hovering, take the feet a bit wider. If your heels are still hovering, just come up to your heels are planted down, press into the outsides of the feet, open the knees wider. This will be where you work. Long through the spine. Be active in the legs, so pressing down through the heels, lengthening through the spine, drawing the shoulder blades back so you can open the chest. Feel every breath. Control your breathing. So if you're on a nice hard floor, this is going to be fine for you. If you're on a carpet like me, it might be a little bit extra challenging, but we'll give it a go. So, bring both arms over the right knee. Get grounded down through the right heel. Walking the left foot over, find the balance, and then straighten the left leg out in front of you. So you want to lock the left knee in. Hands can just be in front of you. Another option is your hands holding on to your left toes. If this isn't coming today, you can use your stabilizers, hands either side of you. But otherwise, 2 more breaths, holding the left leg out in front. And coming back to Malasana, deep yogi squats. Other way, both arms over the left leg, shuffling the right foot over, finding the balance, straightening the right leg out in front of you, and then again, any variation that works for you. Just always trying to keep the spine long, shoulder blades pulling back, chest open, breathing deep. 2 more breaths. And then coming back to Malasana, deep yogi squats. So again, sorry if you're on a carpet, but the extra challenge provides added benefits. So from Malasana, your deep yogi squats, coming up on the balls of your feet. Try and lift your heels so it looks like your shin is going straight down into your toes. From here, with control, nice and slowly, coming all the way up. So keep the spine long, keep reaching through the crown of your head, pressing down through the balls of your feet until you come all the way up with the heels still lifted. From here, bring the feet together. Heels are still high. Long through the spine. Keeping the balance. Nice and slowly, bending the knees. So starting to come down. Keep the heels lifted. Keep the breathing deep. Come down so your bum is in line with your knees. Your thighs are parallel to the floor. Lift the heels a bit higher. Come up by 1 inch. Drop down by 2. Clasp the fingers, push the palms away. Pushing the hands out in front of you, start taking the hands up towards the ceiling. Keep the heels high, reaching through the whole of your body. Pushing through the hands, reaching through the arms, long through the side bodies, heels high up in the air. 2 more breaths. And then releasing the hands slowly with control, dropping the hands either side of you. And then when they're there, heels back on your mats. Forward fold. So, in your forward folds, if you're familiar with them, any variation that you like, make any adjustments. So, You want your big toes touching, a small gap between the heels. Spread your toes, press all the toes down, rooting down through your heels to straighten your legs. Keeping a tiny bend in the knees. You don't want to be locking the knees in because they're supporting weight. So you want the muscles to do the work, not the knee joint. Tilt the pelvis forwards, lengthen through the spine as you soften through the spine, hanging the head forwards. Crown of the head coming to the toes, forehead to the shins. So any variation you like. A suggestion for today, bring the hands together behind the back, clasp the fingers and push the hands away, and then work the rotation in your shoulders. So you're trying to bring your arms overhead, bringing your pinkies towards the floor. Deep breaths, make sure your weight is evenly distributed on your feet. Hang in the head. Every exhale, pushing a bit harder through the arms. Two more breaths. And releasing the hands, placing your hand on your mats, stepping back, downward facing dog. So when you're back in your downward facing dog, reach the left leg up towards the ceiling, bend the left knee, bring the left knee to the right elbow, and then when it's here, kick the left leg off to the right side of the room. Drop your right heel to your mat, push your hips away, reach the right hand back and away from you, calming into wild thing. So strong on the left shoulder, pressing down through the whole of your hand, turning the chest up towards the ceiling, reaching the right hand back and away, looking to your right fingertips. One more breath, and making your way back to your downward facing dogs. Same with the right leg. Right leg up towards the ceiling, bending the right knee to the left elbow, kicking the right leg off the left side of the room, dropping the left heel, taking the left hand back and away from you, turning the chest up towards the ceiling, holding the body weight on the right arm, pushing away from the shoulder. Strong breaths. Two more breaths. And making your way back to your downward facing dogs. Back here, in your down dog, lifting the right leg high, bending the right knee, coming to pigeon pose. So right knee behind the right wrist, right ankle behind the left wrist. So when you're here, you want to bring your right shin to be as in line to the front of your mats as you can bring it. So if your heel is close into your hips, try and pull the foot forwards. Bring the foot forwards to have your shin more in line to the front of your mats. The further forwards your leg is, the deeper and the stronger the rotation in the right hip is. When we're here, take the left foot back behind you. So that way we're going to sink our hips nice and low to our mats. Quite often in pigeon pose, we end up coming onto the right thigh, the right bum. That's not what we want. We want our hips level. We want our hips, left and right hip, equal distance, equal measure from the floor. So with the hips level, the left leg in line with the long edge of your mats. Start walking your hands away from you. Coming down to your forearms, elbows, maybe foreheads. Just bring all of your weight over the right leg. So you want to keep the length through the spine as you fold long over the right leg. If you find, as you come down to your mats, that your right heel pulls back underneath you, just use your left forearm, place the sole of your right foot against the left forearm, and then you can
keep the foot in place by having your left arm as a wedge. So you can stay as you are, really focus on your breathing, strong breaths, deep breathing. Observe the breath moving into those areas of your body being worked by this pose. For those of you who would like a little bit extra, one option is to bring the left elbow in front of the right knee. The right hand presses into the left hand. Your right elbow is high up towards the ceiling. You're then pushing off the hands, twisting on the spine, looking over the right shoulder, breathing into the right hip. So this is one option. Another option, the left elbow in front of the right knee. Bring your left hand onto the floor. The right hand comes up and over behind the back, and then you're holding the right ankle with the right hand. So again, strong twist in the spine, looking over your shoulder, up towards the ceiling. Deep belly breaths. Close your eyes. 3 more breaths. Feel every breath expanding inside of you, expanding into the tension, the tightness in your body. And as you exhale, that tension recedes, it softens, it lets go. So everyone, coming back into your pigeon pose with your arms stretched out in front of you. Pressing down through the right leg, lift the hands. So hands hovering out in front of you. Bring the right arm to either side of you, and then lifting with the chest, flying pigeon. We're then placing the right hand on the outside of the right thigh. And we want to bring the right heel a little bit closer in towards the hips. Not too close. You still want to have a good sort of triangle base shape with the right heel, the right knee, and your left knee. So try and have a triangle quite open between them. Ideally, your right heel is in front of your left knee. So from here, we take the left hand behind us, bending the left knee, we grab a hold of the foot, and we pull the heel towards the bum. Have your left hand so that the wrist is on the inside of the left foot. If there's a bend in your left elbow, you can bring the toes down the wrist, down the forearm, into the crease of the elbow. And then everyone, try to turn back to facing the front. So you're squaring your hips and your shoulders back to the front of the room. Doesn't matter where you are with the left arm. Everyone can attempt to test your balance by taking the right hand from the floor. So both hands off the mat, you're balancing using the right leg, using that triangle shape you've created between the ankle, knee, and knee. If you're here and the left toes are in the crease of your left elbow, you can go for mermaid. So the right hand comes up and over behind the back. You're holding the hands, opening the chest, lengthening through the spine, deep belly breaths. So 2 more breaths wherever you are. And then with control, hands back on the mats, kicking the right leg back, downward facing dog. So take a moment if you need, move it out, shake it out, maybe a vinyasa, inhaling to plank, exhaling to press up, inhaling, upward facing dog, exhaling, downward facing dog. Same with the other side, pigeon pose. Lift the left leg nice and high, bend the left knee behind the left wrist, left ankle behind the right wrist. So again, bring that foot as far forward as you can, and then taking the right leg out behind you. So walk the right foot behind you, hips are level, right leg in line with the long edge of your mats, left shin in line to the front of your mats, and then long out of the hips, over the left leg, coming down to your forearms, foreheads, breathing here. So again, breathing here, otherwise, one option. The next option, right elbow in front of the left knee, left hand
pressing to the right hand, the left elbow high up towards the ceiling. As you twist on the spine, look over the shoulder, up to the sky. Another option, right elbow in front of the left knee, right hand on the floor, left hand up and over behind the back, grabbing a hold of your left ankle, twist on the spine, pull the left shoulder blade backwards, breathe into the twist. So wherever you are, close your eyes. Remember, every breath, a bridge between the mind and the body. Feel them coming together. Find where they're connected, where maybe they're holding on a little bit too tight. And with every exhale, practice releasing, letting go. Two more breaths. And then everyone coming back to your starting pigeon. Reaching your left hands out in front of you. Press down to the left leg to lift the hands. So the hands hovering, bring the arms either side of you, and then lifting with the chest, flying pigeon. So shoulders above the hips. Bring your left hand onto your mats on the outside of the left thigh. Your left heel a little bit more in line with the right knee behind you. Keeping the hips level, bring the right hand behind you, bending the right knee, grabbing a hold of the foot, again inside of the foot. Wherever you are, squaring back to the front of your mats. Maybe if you have a bend in the right elbow, toes can come down the forearm into the crease of the elbow. Wherever you are, attempting your balance by taking the left hand away from your mats. And then maybe going for mermaid, so the left hand behind the back, holding the hands, opening the chest, breathing deep. Two more breaths. And then both hands back on the mats, kicking the left leg back, downward facing dog. Hop, step, or jump to Malasana, your deep yogi squats. And gently placing your bums onto your mats. So bring the soles of the feet together. Grab a hold of the toes and then wiggle your heels and hips as close as you can bring them. So, remember cobbler's pose. We want to rotate from the pelvis, from the hips, not just rounding the spine forwards. So, holding onto your toes, leading with a long spine and a flat back, shoulder blades drawing in close, pulling yourself down, leading with the chin and the chest towards the front of your mats. Every exhale, getting lower. Eventually, your elbows can press down on your thighs, open the hips wider. Deep belly breathing. Try and get lower with every exhale, keeping the spine long, so keep lengthening out of the hips. Provided you can maintain that rotation of the pelvis, with a strong exhale, you can bring your forehead to the toes, or maybe try to bring your forehead onto your mats in front of the toes, so that way you're really lengthening out of the hips, keeping the spine long, and then folding forwards. Doesn't matter how close your forehead is to your toes, main focus is using your elbows to press down the thighs, open the hips. Two more breaths. And nice and slowly, calming up. Open your legs out in front of you. So legs wide as possible. Pull the meat of your bums, so your sitting bones are facing backwards. So just like in cobbler's pose that we did before, we want to find that again, rotation in the hips, rotation in the pelvis. So placing your hands on your floor behind you, push yourself forwards.
Again, long spine, flat back, leading with the chin in the chest. Try and find the work happening here. So we're not just rounding the spine to come forwards, we're working in our hips and our thighs. Use the hands on the floor behind you and keep working here, unless you can maintain this work when you bring your hands forwards. So if you come forwards and you lose that work there, just work with a hand on the floor behind you. Otherwise, you're creeping the hands out in front of you, and again, you want to be leading with a long spine, a flat back, coming out of the hips, coming forwards. Eventually, the intention is that your chest is on your mat in front of you. So see how far you can go. Maybe you can reach and grab the outside of your feet, and this will help you, again, just maintaining that rotation around the tops of your thighs. So using every breath. Keep lengthening long out of the hips, through the spine. If you're holding into your feet, try and draw your shoulder blades backwards. Again, that helps to flatten your back, but also just create space for your lungs so you can breathe deeper. Remember, using every breath. Still no thoughts need thinking about. Maintain a quiet mind as your awareness is concentrated in the body, in every sensation, every experience, every movement, every pose. Two more breaths. Try and get a little bit deeper. And then gently coming up. So a little bit of a fun challenge pose. This is always a pose I remember from one of my friend's classes, Eleanor Forder, and let's give it a go. So you bring your left hand tight into your crotch, as close as you can bring it. The right hand comes pretty much underneath the right bum. The closer your hands are, the more power you get pressing down rather than pushing away. So hands pretty much under the right leg. You're then lifting the bum. So try and lift your bum off your mat as high as you can. Now, maybe I'm descended from Neanderthals, I've got nice long arms. If your arms are short, make some fists, gives you a little bit extra lift. But otherwise, palms planted, lifting the bum. If the bum's high, you can try lifting the right leg out in front of you. And if you lift the right leg, try and lift the left as well. I'll give you a second to give that a go. And then, when you're back on your bums, other way. So right hand in the crotch, left hand on the bum. Lifting the bum, high off the floor. Then, lifting the left leg. Left knee locked in. See if you can lift the right leg as well. Lovely stuff. So, to finish off with, bring your legs together in front of you. Point through the toes and slowly sliding the hands up the thighs as you come to lying on your backs. Just coming to Shavasana, final relaxation. So your feet in the corners of your mats, flopped either side, palms facing the ceiling, hands away from the body. A suggestion in your Shavasana, just to make sure your chest is nice and open, you can have cactus arms. So bring your elbows in line with your shoulders and the palms facing the ceiling. Chest is open, and then just breathing soft, breathing gentle. As you lengthen through the back of your neck, the chin tucks in slightly. And then just softening the whole of your body. Easy breathing. Let go of control of your breath. Start to settle. finding stillness. No need to move, no need to fidget. Keeping your awareness, keeping your focus inside your body, centered in feeling. Still, no thoughts need thinking about. Just observe your body. Notice every sensation, every experience that there is to find. Pay attention to each part of your body. Maybe do a sweep, do a scan as you take your awareness, your focus around your body. Piece by piece, part by part. There is something to find in every part of your being. Obviously, there are areas where the experience is more obvious. Sensations are more prevalent. Try not to only give them your main focus. Explore the whole of your body. Paying particular attention to the areas of your body that you don't have that strong connection to. Notice your blind spots, your blank spaces. If you find that in that area of your body you feel nothing, well then that means that you're feeling something. If you scan your body, if you explore it and you find nothing in areas, give that more focus, more attention. Keep exploring that nothing. There may be a temptation. You may find that your mind wanders to those areas of your body where the sensations are a bit more obvious, where the experience is louder. Use this time to find your quiet places. Use this time to highlight those dark, blind spots inside of you. In time, eventually that nothing becomes something a little bit more. Use this time to reconnect to each part of your body. And starting to breathe deeply. Getting ready to move your body again. And wiggling fingers and toes. Rotating wrists and ankles. And moving your body in any way that feels good for you. Full body stretch, arms overhead, pointing through toes, pushing through heels. And anything else that feels good for your body. Maybe bringing the knees to the chest and rolling the knees, rocking side to side. Just giving your lower back a little massage. When you're ready, making your way to sitting on your mats. So, thank you all very much for tuning in. These videos stay on my page, so if you want, you can always come back and practice again. Again, I will be doing a similar flow Tuesday night, Wednesday night. Slight variations, slight differences. We'll see what happens. But otherwise, hopefully see you soon. Namaste.